Mm.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Sonic Movie Show, the only show that talks about Sonic the Hedgehog at all. Not a single other podcast does. We're the only one in existence. My name is Ethan, and with me here to spread this lie further is my friend Devin.
I will, fuck.
Really?
I
He
will
does that?
overcome every obstacle with this power.
You know who says that?
Who?
That's Shadow the Hedgehog says that. In Sonic
Oh, I
X
didn't know
Shadow
that.
Generations.
I just came up
Um,
with this on the
oh,
spot.
it's a weird
Yeah.
way to open then if that was just like, is that like your whole ethos
Well,
on
that's why I
life?
stumbled. It was because I was just like trying to think of something cool that would what would I say if like I was
Right.
first some first thing people like heard about me, like what was like one thing I want them to know about me, which is I was like, oh, I like to overcome obstacles because I have power
With
or
this
something.
power. Yeah, exactly,
With this
exactly.
specific power.
Folks, this is summer, and you know what happens in summer? We get Jeff Keighley's face once again to tell us about the Summer Game Fest, Summer Games
That's
Fest.
right.
Might maybe if you're
Game
cool.
singular.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense when you like read it, but like when you say it, it kind of just doesn't roll off the
it's
tongue
just
as
like
much. Summer
Xbox
Game
Games
Fest.
Pass, but it's Game Pass. You know what I mean? Where it's like, but
Game
there's multiple
games.
games being shown here, Jeff. Um,
And Jeff isn't spelled with a J either. See, it all
it's
makes sense.
Geoff, but we say Jeff
Geoff.
because we're respecting him. You know what I mean? Yes, Summer Game Fest is a whole season of things loosely connected, but really it's a big
Is
kickoff
it
show
all
by Jeff.
weekend?
It's like all summer.
I,
That's why it's called Summer Game Fest.
I always thought. Oh, fuck it.
Certain things are like
I didn't
attached
watch it,
with
so
it.
I
In the old days when we had E3, before E3 happened, there was a thing called Judges Week, which Jeff
mm.
actually was the one that started it and ran it, where all these different companies could basically come together behind the scenes and have their games, demos, and whatnot be shown to the press to guarantee all these outlets definitely see all these games. It's an easy way because we're all coming to LA for E3 anyway. A week beforehand, we can have this happen. It's easy, and
And
from
we can
how
sit by the pool, have some margaritas.
absolutely, I'm sure they did a lot of that. The other day I thought I missed a construed margarita with Bloody Mary, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like tomatoes. And someone's
Oh.
like, what do you mean? It's my reason why I don't like margaritas. Like I don't like tomatoes because I was getting it confused with Bloody Mary. Summer Games Fest is a kind of continuation of that idea where it's like, yeah, Ubisoft and Xbox, they have their things coming up and they're a part of Summer Game Fest and this and that. Here's my thing. We have our issues overall with Jeff Keighley. And I think
We
that's
have beef.
mainly because he's the only one wanting to be that person. And I think under the capitalistic society we live in, we need to have competition. We need a couple other people that want to do the same thing so that, like, hey, Jeff basically, my defense for Jeff Keighley, because we could talk about, like, oh, why didn't he talk about the Activision Bobby Kotick stuff? We had to bully him into that. And why didn't he talk about Palestine, even though whatever, it's not necessarily the place for that either. I don't really want his opinions. I don't want him to grandstand about that if it has nothing to do with that. But still, whatever.
And at the time of the
Um,
Game Awards, it would have been 100% like a both sides thing, 100% if
yeah.
he did say anything.
And
But I meant more. I remember when we talked about that, it was more that we wanted the first class or whatever they called
oh,
them.
to do the thing they wanted to
Uh,
do. That's different. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. I agree 100%. They won they should be able to use their platform for something. But like overall, like I get that like Jeff can never win with people, and that is just it just looks like it's accepted that that's just what his life is. Where it's like because he needs to be this like go between contact
the
between the
symbol.
audience people and the actual like corporations that like he just needs to be this milk toast guy who like his flair is wearing bad sneakers with his outfit because that's just his taste or whatever, which is fine. I swear worse than what he does. I dress worse than what he does. I get it. Not judging there. But like he can't be, it's just his fate. You know what I mean? Because if he goes in one direction, any direction, he's going to be making either us really mad, sponsors really mad, the people who are basically giving him the commercials really mad, and access really mad. So I get it. But what I just want is I want, someone else to try to do that too, because then it helps out. Then Jeff can get a bit of a personality and have a bit of more of an angle other than just every single one of these shows saying how video games are the greatest thing ever and they're a better medium than movies or television shows. Every single time he does one of these, he talks about how great the industry is for existing. That's my rant on that stuff.
No one's done it better.
Yeah, exactly.
Video games
exactly.
is peak.
Because you saw like the discourse on pricing for the trailers. If Ubisoft wants to put an X Defiant trailer in there, costs as much, but then like I see people on Twitter being like, or like Gene Park from the Washington Post being like, this is cheaper than a full page ad in the New York Times. Like, advertising and media is expensive.
I think it's still like a number that people weren't expecting, myself included, because it's just like, oh, like I don't know. Like I feel like once again it goes into like why E3 kind of disappeared and Game Awards in general, where it's just like, or
they
you
had
can
to
just
pay
do a
the
direct
ESA
and
for all
not
those
pay,
stages and all that too.
and
That's
not pay
Nintendo
anything. You just do a
Yeah.
direct. You not pay anything. You control the narrative.
Absolutely.
Like from a PR standpoint.
Absolutely.
Like I get why the companies are doing that, because like, yeah, it's only $25K for Sony, but for the indie developer that makes maybe $100K a year, is like, do we pay to
there
like
is
put
exceptions
this on there?
There's exceptions on both ends of the scale. There's a lot of indies that didn't need to pay a dime. That Summer Game Fest just took them in, and Game Awards as well. And there are obviously, some marketing type of strategies and this and that. And we're like, hey, you don't need to pay Ubisoft or whatever. You don't need to. Going into it, one of the big things that was like that Jeff in the Summer Game Fest, official marketing said is what's going to be shown is a new entry in a beloved 2K franchise, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, is it going to be BioShock like me? Is it going to be Borderlands? Boo!" And I was watching a podcast where
NBA 2K again.
well, yeah, I was watching a podcast where like someone brought up, "Oh, it could be Civilization, it could be Civ 7." And they were debating on it, and the overall consensus was, no, it's not Civ. Because the way Jeff said it, beloved, like, he's trying to make sure the audience, like, he knows what the audience is thinking and wants and this and that, and so he probably wouldn't say it for Civ.
That's what he wants,
but I'm
though.
sitting there
Civ
listening to this podcast, and I'm thinking, like, that's not how this worked. So he talked to 2K, 2K talked to him, there's a marketing thing for one of their games. So if you're 2K right now, and let's say that the game is Civilization, and you want to let them use your thing to hype the show going into it, it's Civilization 7. How would you want him to describe your game? Of course, you would want them to say beloved, and this. That's just how like these companies think. And Civilization is beloved, by the way.
Like 1,500 hours in the game. His name is Jarek. Shout out to my brother.
Right, it's beloved to him.
Incredible
but just generally,
amount of hours
like,
in that game.
I think people
Right.
also give Jeff too much credit for the things he says, thinking it's some sort of personableness. There are plenty of times where he's blundered on like optics on certain ways he's said things. Where I watch something and he says like, "Oh, like this is a return to a something," and like no one actually gives a shit. But she just saw that I'm like, well, let's not pick Civilization out. It's more than possible, rather. I don't want to say likely because I really wanted it to be BioShock. And then there were rumors that it was going to be Borderlands anyway. So like some of that stuff, like we go in every single time to one of these things not knowing what to expect. There was also the thing where people took what Jeff said about one video game and decided that applied to everything that was being shown at Summer Game Fest, where in a Twitch stream, someone asked him, "Are we going to see Kingdom Hearts 4?" And he said, if fans expecting to see Kingdom Hearts 4 at Summer Game Fest are setting themselves up for disappointment. And people took that and said, like, oh, he's saying anyone that's watching the whole show is going to be disappointed, which is not true. I did watch this and was generally like, okay, I don't really care about most of any of these things that was shown, except Sonic X Shadow Generations. Devin, I know you saw the trailer, right?
Mm-hmm. I've had it playing also for the last 2 hours. So I really have this shit ingrained in my skull now.
Okay.
This is what I do for the show. People don't realize is I every time before every episode I watch Sonic trailers endlessly. So I think like him. I am him. We are one and the
Really?
same.
Really?
Yeah. No. I did play Sonic Generations back in like 2018, maybe 2019. I think it was 2018, 2019. And just thought it was fun. I liked a lot of the old Sonic kind of style levels. With when Sonic's a little guy, he doesn't talk.
Sonic is a little guy.
That's always my favorite Sonic design. Has been that kind of classic. Short.
Same.
We like short Sonic. I think
We like
on
short
the show.
kings.
We like short kings.
Anyone under 5'7", they're a real man. Anyone taller than that is a soy boy, or whatever they call them.
Yeah, that's true. I'm a giant amongst men.
And I'm a
But no. So like, I think when they first released this, we were like kind of curious of how much, Shadow was going to be in it. Was it just going to be you can play the same levels again as Shadow, kind of like Sonic Superstars, when there's some minor differences, based off mechanics, or Shadow can do this, so maybe we add a wall he can punch or whatever the equivalent would be.
Right. That's what it feels like to play as Knuckles in like Sonic 3, where it's like these are clearly built for Sonic, but you allow him to climb a wall, so you put a ceiling here or something like that.
Yeah, there's just minor differences to make it feel a little bit different. So yeah, watching the trailer, like, just without going into like we'll talk about like what they say on like the website and whatnot, but it says 2 epic adventures, it said 3 hedgehogs, so I think it has obviously the 2 old Sonic and quote unquote new Sonic for the generation still in there. But then it has Shadow levels, and it has been a while since I played the game, obviously, so I don't really remember if some of these levels are new or old. Some of them look familiar to me.
Anytime you see Sonic, it's from Generations. That nothing's new there. I can tell you that right now.
Yes, but in terms of like where Shadow is, I'm like, is this an old level or not? I don't know. But overall, I'm just kind of been like, oh, kind of looks cool, but I'm not like, oh my fucking god, I'm losing my shit. It's not like Sonic Frontiers where like even we were skeptical when that first came out, like, will this be good? But at least that was different, and like, this is kind of to me like not a remaster, but almost remake of Sonic Generations, because it adds hopefully a lot more stuff into it. But just on the surface of watching this trailer, I'm like, yep, looks like a Sonic trailer that we've seen before. Not really blown away by it. I'll probably get this game, probably. But then I went on their website just because, they at the end of the trailer, they're like, go to SonicXShadowGenerations.com. I'm like, okay. So I go there, I follow the marketing, and there's more details here. You can pre-order and whatnot. But then there was on, where was it? Yeah, I think it was on the
very flashy website. I do like how they do it.
Yeah, after the top of it there, like where it has like the kind of comic booky almost overlay. If you scroll down, by the way, it's coming out October 25th, which I'm okay with that. I think last one came out around
I think October as well.
Maybe,
that's Sonic's month, apparently.
Yeah, spooky month. But it says features here, and it says, Return of Shadow, and it says this is a new standalone campaign, which you kind of hinted at in the trailer.
Yeah.
But it says Shadow's nemesis, Black Doom, which we just played.
I know.
This Shadow the Hedgehog. So I feel like we were being rewarded for doing the homework. Has reemerged. Somehow Black Doom has appeared again. And threatens to take over the world. Shadow must journey into his past again and confront his painful memories and unlock new dark powers to save the world. Now I'm more intrigued just because of what we play with Shadow the Hedgehog.
Absolutely.
Then I'm like, is it going to jump into that? Will we see? Maybe they didn't show it in the trailer. It'd be kind of interesting why they wouldn't, but maybe because no one maybe played Shadow the Hedgehog that long. But I'm wondering if any of those levels in spirit will be in this game. Like, I wonder if we'll get like the Black Comet like levels maybe in some capacity in there.
There's
not
definitely
like
ones I
3D,
could pick out,
but like. But I'm saying like it's inspired by it. Well, there'll be like objects and
there's a Sonic 06
monsters
level in there
and whatever we find
from Shadow Kingdom Valley. Uh, there's clear footage of that. Remember, like you grind on like the wind, like trails that you make, and like the eagle that level. That's in there.
But it says a journey through time and dimensions. Experience the ultimate showdown between Shadow and Black Doom, and a new boss battle that will test your skills and reflexes. Use all Shadow's ability to defeat Black Doom and save the world. So I'm like, then I read that though, and I'm like, so how long is this?
Yeah, that implies to me
campaign?
That it's not that long.
Like that, there's only one, the ultimate showdown, a new boss battle, not like one of the boss battles. Like,
yeah, they don't say bosses across, antagonists and villains and epic fights across Shadow's Pass. It's like a boss battle, a new boss battle,
And then there's explore the new white space, stretch your legs in an all new hub world inspired by an open zone gameplay of Sonic Frontiers. This is where I'm like, cool, because we kind of wanted a Shadow maybe DLC or something for Sonic Frontiers. I know that was briefly mentioned when we kind of talked about our post thoughts of Sonic Frontiers and how we think it's the best Sonic game. Sorry, folks, if you came in here expecting us to shit on Sonic Frontiers, you're wrong. It's the best Sonic game.
You can also not like it. It's fine, but like we really do think it's okay to let go
I'm interested
of
in
the past and move forward. But
I'm seeing the screenshot. Before I even read what it is, I'm like, oh, that looks like Sonic Frontiers, and it is. So I'm more interested actually in that, just to see how long that will be. But I'm really curious how much more gameplay is in this. Also considering the game is what, $50, $60?
I believe it was $50. Oh wait, I'm going now to Sega.
I tried to pre-order
store.
it, by the way. I did the Amazon thing just to see if I can order a physical PS5. I just wanted to see I just want to go on there and just look at what the Amazon listing was. And it says I can't ship it, by the way, to Colorado. It just says, please choose a different delivery location. And I'm like, what do you mean? I can't pre-order it is Colorado banning Sonic X Shadow? Is there too much?
I don't know. I like the box art.
Action in it or something?
So here's the thing. I will be getting the digital deluxe edition. Now, in all these past, I'm a big physical game collector. I got, all sorts of shit that I'm basically not able to show on screen here. I don't own any of the recent Sonic games physically because I keep getting them digitally because there are PS4 versions and for trophy stuff, and also making sure that I could play it day one for the sake of the podcast and whatnot. This time around, it's not on last gen, although it is on Nintendo Switch. Granted, because Sonic Generations is a 2011 PlayStation 3 game. It's like how much Shadow's stuff is doing more than what a Xbox 360 can do, I don't know. I'm still getting it digitally because if we look at this digital deluxe, it comes with an additional level, and I gotta be able to see what that is. Also, you get to play it 3 days early, so October 22nd. So as of right now, assuming that we still are able to do it, we might have a stream that day where we play through. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to promise that, but I would like to do that. I'm going to be pre-ordering it on PlayStation 5 digitally for that, and then hope, just like with the other recent Sonic games, hope later I can get it for like $20 physically.
When even is that? Is that Thursday? Let me see.
I don't know. You look it up.
What was it?
22nd.
October 22nd.
Yep.
That's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday, brother. All right.
So they didn't want to do it 2 weeks later because that'd be the election. They didn't want to interfere.
Sure. Shadow, that's all anyone would talk about.
They'll blame Sonic for interfering with the election.
On election day where you go in to vote and enough people write in Shadow the Hedgehog, what happens? He's not real.
Does he get an electoral vote?
I could see him
he gets 5%,
getting more than a third party.
If he gets 5% of the vote, then I think the rule is the federal government has to give a certain amount of money of budget for campaigning. So if we get that, we can get the Shadow campaign going.
Interesting. Pre-ordering also gets you a Sonic Adventure blocky style skin for Sonic. I imagine modern Sonic in just.
I thought that was cool. I
Yeah.
think they should be doing more instead of just doing Sonic's wearing a Santa hat, which I thought was whatever. For Sonic Frontiers, I'm like, give me weird polygon Sonic.
Yeah.
Give me more of that kind of stuff. And we could talk about the Terrio skin because before we got on here, we were looking up what the fuck that even is.
Yeah,
if
so
it was
the
a comic book character
deluxe...
or they just called it something fun. You know what I mean? Just to be like, this is cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we did find out what it was. If you
Just
wanted to explain it.
real quick before that, this is for standard edition. If you pre-order it, you get the Sonic Adventure skin, and you also get Gerald Robotnik's journal where he details the fucked up ways Shadow was born or whatever. I don't know. But yes, in this digital deluxe, in addition to the additional level releasing holiday 2024, you get this Tyrio skin for Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, folks out there, they're like, "Who the fuck is that?" Pardon my language, because that's what I said when I saw him. Like, we need to put this disclaimer on it. Neither of us at the Sonic Movie Show read any of the Sonic comics. I don't know what Devin's reasons for, besides maybe a disinterest. I just don't care, and that's not what I get into Sonic for. I liked the video games. I like playing them, the sense of speed, the fun gameplay. As a kid, at least, like that's why I got into it. The show was cool. The shows were cool to me because they were based on a video game I liked. And how often do you get that as a kid? Like a movie or a show based off a video game. Nowadays, we get a Mario movie and this and that, and there are Sonic movies, obviously, the namesake of the show. But like I don't really care about like just watching him do stuff. So reading him do stuff seems even less interesting to me. It's cool if you like the comics. I think that we get into we delve into an aspect of fan culture with comic books specifically on stuff like Sonic the Hedgehog that I'm not interested in participating in at all. On you if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, video game character, like I'm kind of in the same boat where it's like it depends on what the video game character is. Like I'm more probably likely to read a God of War comic book because it's more story based in that spec. In that space, but like or in that aspect I should say. For Sonic, for me it's always been like I just think he looks cool, and like the games I've played,
and I want to
go
play
fast.
Yeah, exactly. And hey, not knowing anything about
if there's a standalone Rouge comic book though, hit up my DMs, let me know about that.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's at least a small mini series on some of these characters.
Rouge
the Bat.
Or you can take our name title from our Rouge video game that we invented. Lone Gun, so fucking good. That's probably my favorite one we made. It's like title-wise, at least. It's fantastic.
So
please watch the episode.
Please do. Please watch all of them. Please watch this one. You're not watching. Watch this one. YouTube.com/@SonicMovieShow. And hey, I don't know, not knowing anything about the stories in these Sonic comics, they could be great. I could maybe even like them. I'm just not interested, and that's an aspect of the fan culture types of stuff that I don't want to go into. I'm not a Tumblr guy. And hey, I know I'm weird. I genuinely don't understand how there can be like ravenous fan culture on a TV show that's already over, where people talk about like Sherlock and all these shows where I'm like, there's only so much to talk about because you watched it all. At least video games, you can do more, and like there's still more coming out. So like I get it. There's just something I genuinely don't get, and that's a me thing, but not interested in the comics. So looking at this Tyrios guy, I'm like, oh, this is a comic book guy. Because I know in one of the comics, we talked about this on the Shadow the Hedgehog episode 200 on this very channel, put a lot of work into that. We literally put a lot of work into that. Please watch it. I had read that in the comics, he's got a Black Doom brother, and he's even more alien-y, and then Shadow looks or whatever. So I'm thinking, is that this guy? So I Google it, and like there's like no information on it. Fandom.com, which is Fandom is I don't know how great they are as a company nowadays. I've only heard negative things, and they have money to buy sites I care about, which just makes me nervous for those sites. But they're known mainly as a wiki source that has a lot less restrictions in what you can enter. And there's a Tyrios, there's a Tyrios wiki page for him on Fandom's website there. And there's got like shit, like it's all just made up, like fan games. Maybe not even fan games. This list for Sonic Adventure 3, Friends and Foes. I doubt anyone actually made that as a fan game. I think someone just had a fan fiction idea of what they want, and then they made up a box art and wrote. So why is this on there?
Can people put our games that we made though on there? That'd be awesome. That'd be fucking great.
You know what? One of these days,
Lone Gun's on there. Mr. Bean's meat or whatever. What was that one? I forgot.
Agent Stone's Mean Bean Cafe, I think we called it.
Yeah. Tails' Christian.
One of
camp
these
or
days,
whatever
I'm
it
going to
was,
make us a website, and we're going to have our own our wiki for just the shit we made up.
Yeah, when the game came out, how much it
religious
sold,
experience.
and then everyone bought it
On the Sega Super Remastered, right?
Yes.
So I didn't finding no dead ends. Keep looking. Eventually, some information I didn't know, and actually could have used for the Shadow the Hedgehog episode, to be honest. Although I don't think it really matters that much for that video game. But yeah, this Tyrios is both a name and design that was considered in early concept stages for Shadow the Hedgehog's character in Sonic Adventure 2. So this is a cool throwback to a what if.
But the fact that we had to like dig for it makes it is it really a throwback?
Like, who
if
knows?
No one knows that.
Yeah.
Because I thought when I thought it was just like, I don't know. It's like when I've seen skins in other games, right? It just has an adjective or a adverb skin, and it's just like a cool sounding thing, like punished skin or heaven's might skin or something. Whatever, like it works with the game it's coming
birthday
from. It's
suit
like,
skin. Go
not
on.
opposed to that. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I thought it was until you dug it up, and then I'm like, is it real though? And then the fact we had to do a deep dive and it's not explained at all to other people, I feel like that should be like, it's cool. I like the idea, but like if it took that long to search to figure that out, is it?
He also, sorry, go on.
Is it really that deep, much of a like? To me, it's like a deep cut, rather than
which
I
think is cool, but like market it in a way. I don't think it's marketed in a way that makes sense. It looks like my thought was, oh, this is a comic book guy, because it has the clear traits that I've seen a lot of the comic book characters' designs from Sonic's comics. The clear cut identifier for it, it's too damn edgy. This guy looks edgier than Shadow does. Absolutely. He has
the
gold
Rider
scars. And
he has the Common Rider.
I like the neckerchief type thing. I like that.
Yeah.
But he's got like prison cuff things with the chains ripped off.
Yeah.
And he's got the skull. He's got a missing eye or a dead eye, and literally his scars are painted in with gold.
He has the rocket power. Not rocket power. Team Rocket boots. That's a rocket power. God damn.
That's a throwback right there. I hated that.
Now that's a throwback. No, he looks cool, but what they should have done was just let you import your Sonic Forces.
Play as the gamer. Yeah. So this guy looks a bit too edgy for me. I will not be using that skin. Now, if they had instead Sonic Adventure 2 skin from Shadow, where he is blocky just like the Sonic Adventure one right below Tyrios, like, hey, hell yeah. Because listen, you talked about wishing that they did the skin in Sonic Frontiers. Didn't get DLC, but Super Mario Odyssey, you can unlock different outfits for Mario. One of them was just how he looks like in Mario 64, blocky and all. When I got that, that's just how I played. I was like that for the rest of the game because I like that shit. But I'm sure there are people that see Tyrios and they're like, awesome! And good for them. I'm glad that it's recognized.
He looks just like my tattoo.
Now
that'd be a deep cut.
Listen, I would get Shadow the Hedgehog tattooed on me. I'd get his full body on my back. Full back tattoo.
All right, let's do it.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
I'll take you up on that.
You'd have to pay for it and then also give me stuff. I am not paying for a full back tattoo.
I mean, how big are we talking? You want your entire back? Yeah. That's like a couple grand, probably.
That's why I'm not paying for it. If I, I gotta pay.
I thought you were wanting if you got you can get that around the back of the shoulder.
I can get a lot of things.
Probably $300 or something.
So in addition to getting Tyrios, you also get some extra music and you get an art book. I actually kind of hate.
How do the soundtracks work, by the way? Is it in?
It's a separate application. So I've had a few of these, and actually Sonic Superstars.
Can I add it to my Steam? Because I know some people do that with their Steam.
Steam does it better, where it's categorized separately, soundtrack specifically, but the art books and sound things, it's a separate application like a game, and I hate that that it sits on my thing. I got extra Sonic Superstars stuff on there.
Send me a vinyl instead. At least that'll be
I mean, this shit's already going to be
easier
on YouTube within the day before the game even comes out.
Yeah.
And the song that they used, by the way, it was clearly from a Shadow segment, banger. Oh, I love that. It was
All
a nice.
hail
No, it wasn't that.
Shadow.
It wasn't that.
Oh,
It was just a good just beat kind of tracking. Also, I'm not quite sure what it's exactly for. Maybe it's the skill points they mentioned. An Omachow credit card. So all you people out
I
there
like
can
the
do your
idea
stupid
that
nostalgia critic bit about that.
you have to
but,
balance credit actually in Sonic Generations now. To
yeah,
play the next level, you need to get a certain amount of coins, but you can take a loan.
coins.
You can take a loan out. It's for I don't know how. Maybe it's using Bitcoin or something for the credit card. I don't know. I don't know the
God.
currency. They didn't explain that. So.
I am actually shocked that Sega didn't do their own cryptocurrency that was
NFTs.
just rings.
Did they do
Like,
NFTs?
I don't
I
know.
think they would have.
I feel like a lot of these companies kind of stepped their toe into that and then quietly stopped because, like, hey, this isn't doing shit. It's just like we talked about this on a previous episode. Whenever there's an investor meeting, one of these investors is going to ask a company, are you considering this emerging field? And then they have to just pretend that they already are. You know what I mean? That's what I'd like to think happened with the NFT stuff. Where they're like, oh yeah, we just got to do it because it could be the future, I guess, and our investors will give us more money if we say we're gonna do it, and then we don't actually do it. I think that's the best case scenario.
Or someone who's like really into it like went there and be like, you guys really need to get in on this and we'll do a deal or something. I don't know. Yeah, no. Yeah, skill points is I don't know what that is, but
It's been forever since I played Generations. I don't know
I
if
don't
you
remember
unlock things with skill points.
I don't remember there
Maybe you
being
do.
like a speed meter or something. Maybe it's for the well, it says Sonic Generations, but maybe it's for the shadow
Right.
level with the like because you know how Sonic Frontiers had the you can increase your speed and whatnot. Maybe it's that, but I feel like it would say that.
Guess we'll find
Also,
out
what's
more.
with the bonus?
Wait a second.
PlayStation.
Oh, it is on last gen. I'm an idiot. It is on PS4 and Xbox One, just not physically. So there you go. I'm definitely getting the digital so I can eventually one day get trophies for both of them. I guess that makes sense. I mean, if it's on Switch, why not put it on PlayStation 4 besides if you think it might not sell? But
I was gonna say, what's with the bonus PlayStation exclusive prologue animations? Would you get a little
that is
30-second trailer?
funny. If I
Let me
click
see what the
on
Xbox one.
nothing.
Oh, the Xbox don't get it. Oh, the console war again. Wow, PlayStation people eating, dude.
There's
They
no
get the
digital
prologue.
deluxe edition listed here for Nintendo Switch. But if we go to physical, it's not
I don't
there
see
either.
Switch,
They just don't
is it
have.
not on Switch?
Oh, it is on Switch. Yeah, they announced it in the trailer. It's also at the bottom of the screen if you scroll down more.
Maybe it's gonna be straight digital and just eShop.
Honestly, I can see that happening because like the Switch games are on cartridges.
Are people? Do
they're
people
different
pre-order
sizes.
like on the eShop? I don't even know.
There's no benefit to pre-ordering unless they give you bonuses. You know what I mean? It's not like you can lock in a lower price.
Wow. See, PlayStation's just like we said last episode. PlayStation is winning the console war.
Actually, you
It's
know
over.
what? You can on all these consoles, even the Switch, you can preload the game so that as soon as it's technically launch day, you can play without having to download it. So, I guess that's
Yeah,
a
even the
benefit.
PlayStation 4 gets the exclusive prologue animations.
It's probably like when Frontiers had that like tiny little short of Knuckles standing by the Master Emerald looking sad.
it says down here on that same page for both on the pre-order page, on the middle bottom, it says
think I see
early
it.
release not available on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I see.
So there is no pre-order for Switch. You just gotta buy it.
Funny. Well, whatever. I'm sure it'll look better than the Mortal Kombat 1 Switch port.
Oh yeah. Can we before we like kind of leave this page, what do we think about the cover? Because I actually think it's cool,
I love it.
and I know we'll talk about the Japanese cover, but I actually think we won this time.
Here's my
That's,
only
hot-
thing about it.
Hot take.
My only thing
think we
about it,
won.
I wish the renders of Sonic, both Sonics, were different. They are the same ones from 2011. And because I've seen them so often, I know for a fact that the modern Sonic on the right there is tilted and leaning towards the right. Like they just took it and rotated a little bit, and that does bother me a little bit. But overall, compositionally, I do love it a lot. It really is putting an emphasis on the new stuff that's in it, which, like, hopefully that's a sign of how much of that content is, like, Like how much of is it worth it? Because like yes, it's $50. If you were to be like, hey, this is Sonic Generations in 4K, 60 frames a second, with some bug fixes, quality of life stuff, just a basic remaster, like $50 does seem like it's probably a fine price for that. 40 is even better. 30 seems like a steal for what it is. Just generally as a consumer, so 50 seems within that expectation. But then to be able to have new stuff on top of it, all this stuff, feels like it's a good value. I like the cover a lot. Besides the fact that they reused renders. What about you?
No, yeah, I really like it. I think for me, it's like subtly in the background, it has that kind of like digital, kind of like what we saw in Sonic Frontiers. It kind of is like blurred in a certain way to make it
Chromatic
look like it's
aberration. You could see it on the website
yeah.
itself too in the background.
I see the little chows. One of them's going. He's doing the meme of the oh. He's like every YouTuber probably after watching this. And I think Shadow looks good too. Yeah, his boots kind of have like some wear on them. I like that attention to detail there.
Yeah.
He has like, he's kicked some things wrong. He has some sparks going there.
He stumbled up some stairs. Yeah.
But yeah, I like the kind of flipped worlds too. So I'm really curious what these levels are going to be like.
And there's apparently new Chow stuff in here. We have that's what Midori on Twitter. I've been sending you her texts or her tweets. I've been texting you her tweets, where she says there's a lot more Chow stuff in other games in the future. We'll maybe talk about that stuff more if we have more information. But there is Chows in here that are not in Sonic Generations. Even like there's a screenshot of it going around, but like in Sonic Generations, like, oh, Sonic, here's your birthday cake, all your friends are here, in like a Green Hill Zone inspired place. There's like another large Chow, like there's Chows hanging out there too, so there's some aspect to it. I think that it's probably just gonna be like a collectible type of thing, an extra challenge. Can you beat this time? Then you
Maybe
find
you gotta
him.
find them.
Yeah.
There's like one per level, and they're. Like,
I don't think it's going to be a
kind,
full blown Sonic Adventure Chow Garden thing. I think you save that for a brand.
I feel like
new
they would
game.
have advertised that.
That too,
but maybe,
for
but
sure.
to be fair, no, because I feel like they would have listed in the features section.
Anything
here, which is just
new,
talking about
they would want to advertise for a remake, remaster.
Yeah,
the
only thing I was thinking of is like, do they want to save that for like a trailer in like July to be like, and here's a deep dive into the Chow Garden? But yeah, I feel like this would have been
Maybe.
It would have said at least more details coming soon about the Chow Garden if it was in it, because they wouldn't want to hold that. That's hurting sales if they don't, especially if they drop the trailer at Summer Game Fest. Like for people who maybe played this one. I didn't watch Summer Game Fest, but I know you said that like at that point it felt like that was the loudest like cheering.
It really was. It was actually kind of warmed my heart that when Harry Potter Quidditch game got announced and there wasn't really that much of a crowd cheer for it, and then to see Shadow the Hedgehog be like, yeah, oh, another Jeff Keighley thing. Actually, I do want to get a little upset. Jeff Keighley seemed to kind of like dismissively cast off the term Year of Shadow. Again, there's like a movie. Like, come on,
Year
Jeff.
of Shadow, come on.
They paid you money. Be excited about their product.
I'll say I did see a tweet about someone saying it's super disgraceful for a Harry Potter game to be dropped during Pride Month or whatever. Yeah, something like that. I thought that was funny. But no, yeah, I like what I see. I forgot to mention that he has like weird symbiotic fucking wings at one point in the trailer.
Yeah,
new we'll powers. See what that is. It says
that's
the new Doom power.
New
Surf
Doom
on
powers.
water, fly over obstacles, and stop time with the return of chaos control.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, I can abuse that to beat bosses real quick,
if there is any. Cool. Now this is the United States North American ESRB version of the game. There's a Japanese version. There's a Japanese collector's edition that's got cool shit in it that I wish we could get.
Yeah, honestly, I just want this Shadow figure. Like, I'd put that right near my desk here.
Absolutely.
Next to my Sonic the Hedgehog, what is it called? Mad Libs book here. That's where I would put it. I don't really need the keychain.
I think it's kind of
sick of getting keychains in pre-orders because I'm like, I don't
What am I
I
gonna
don't.
put this on?
I'm trying to have less stuff on my keychain if possible. Uh, but then the art book is nice. Like that's the shit I want, right? I want an art book. Uh, yeah, I think they kind of beat us on the pre-order like physical thing, but I think we beat them on the cover. I know you sent me that one tweet where it says they beat us on the cover again. 'Cause I think the Sonic Frontiers Japanese cover did look better. Even though ours I don't think was bad. I did like him kind of going on the rail because that's what the game was.
There was a lot of that.
And like it looks cool, but I don't know. There's something like about it that just isn't hitting the same. It doesn't feel as actiony. It just kind of it looks more old school, which is kind of cool. But like, I don't know. I wasn't like blown away that like when that tweet kind of implied where it was like, oh my god, it's like so clear that it's so much better. Like to me, I'm like,
that's just
I see why there's taste for this, but I'm like,
I'm back and forth on it. I do agree it's got a different tone to it.
I like the a different tone. Yeah, I do like the shadows like kind of
upside
weird
down.
Like that's what makes it hard. But like I kind of like how it's.
Well,
like,
I think they're trying to do like
misty,
Sonic Adventure 2's kind of logo where it was Sonic spikes up top, shadows below it. But they're doing it with the characters themselves. Yeah. Here's the thing though. It's the type of thing where like I probably would get a physical copy of this Japanese one just because the box art's different as well, just as a cool collecting thing. Because sometimes some of these Japanese box arts are pretty cool. Have you ever seen the Uncharted 2 Japanese box art?
I don't
Look it up.
So.
Google it. I was like, yeah, I want to buy it just to keep it on my shelf.
I mean, there's a lot of cool shit that's just looks cool. I mean, I'm sure folks in Japan. I mean, I know folks in Japan do the same shit. Like the other way around, where like, wow, this thing is in English. It looks cool. This is very American. Like I learned recently that in Japan, like Playboy, like the logo is seen as like kind of like it's not seen as like an adult entertainment thing that you'll see like kids and like grandparents wearing it. That it's just kind of like a brand, and that explains why I feel like I've seen like photos of that where I'm like, wait, why is there Playboy? It's like, oh, it's just like it's like their version of Gucci or something. I mean, not that level, but like it's seen as like, oh, it's cool.
If you go on the Japanese, oh, sorry, you can look that up. But just for folks at home, what I have on screen now on that Japanese website, went to the About tab and right-clicked, open a new tab, the big banner art, which is essentially the box art, all big, blown up in what looks like maybe 16 by 10 aspect ratio. Kind of cool. There's a grain over. Here's what I think kind of makes it not that great looking to me is there's a grain filter that's pretty heavy over Sonic and Shadow. It doesn't look as clean, and it looks like it implies a grittiness that I know Sonic Generations doesn't have. If that makes sense.
I think I found the cover, by the way. Is it kind of like hand drawn a little bit?
Yeah, it looks more artistic. Yeah, I saw them like, wow, they got a different cover. Oh, that's cool. That happens. This is back in the day, but
I want like as a metal head, like I really want, like my goal when I go to Japan is just to go to like find like a vinyl store and just see if I can find any of my favorites like in Japanese, because I think that'd just be cool to have like, oh, I have. Because the music will be the same, if it's vinyl, like it'll work, whatever. Like, but it's like, oh, can I get the cover of this album, in the Japanese just marketing on it or whatever? I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree.
But too bad this isn't coming out when I'm in Japan, or else I would get you a copy of it in Japanese.
I can import it for cheap in a year, and that wouldn't be an issue. Don't worry about it. But yeah. So Sonic X Shadow Generations comes out October 25th or the 22nd, depending on which version you are getting. Like I said, I would like to be able to stream on our YouTube channel at Sonic Movie Show.
I think that's also easier for us
the 22nd
as well. I know it's always tough for us to kind of like, even Sonic Frontiers, which we both liked, it still took us a bit for both of us to kind of get through it because of just time and adulting. So it'd be like, oh, even us like
what a millennial
streaming it. I know.
Yeah, that might be the path forward with new Sonic games and whatnot is we'll just stream it. Unless we're both really interested. I'm okay being the guy that buys all these games and does it. I'm okay with that because but
I mean, I got Superstars, and like to me, it's always like if it's something newish. This one, I'm just like, I might still get maybe once again for Switch because I have been liking playing Sonic.
well, we haven't seen
traveling,
footage of
but
what that version looks
I know.
like.
I know.
But
So we'll see. It also might be like I might get it later, depending on after our stream or whatever. We'll see.
yeah, and it
So
might be cheaper. Yeah. So cool. Yeah. Anything else that you have to say about this game before we wrap it up?
no, I'm only thing I'm bummed about was when are they dropping the Sonic Movie 3 trailer? We've been talking about it for
Oh,
months. It
right.
feels like, and we thought, okay, maybe a week or two after Knuckles came out because you kind of want to ride that. But I know the Knuckles show didn't get like huge reviews, so maybe they just I don't know if that's part of the plan. Maybe they'll say, oh, if it's getting hyped, maybe we then drop it early. If not, maybe they're still like audience testing it. My other theory is like, are they thinking of delaying the movie? And that maybe
They
is
can't. They
why
have this
they
whole
haven't
year
dropped
of
the
shadow marketing campaign.
I
Like, the movie's a
know,
part of it.
right?
They wouldn't like cancel like
That's
what is the 80% of the reason they're doing it.
I think I'm just nervous. The nerves are getting to me. But I'm trying to remember like the other movies, like when the trailer dropped, and it was like about 4 or 5 months. So we're in June, so we're 6 months away. So if we don't get it this month, it's gotta be July. But I'm just worried it's gonna be freaking next week when I'm freaking camping that I'm gonna fucking miss it.
Hey, you'll have
Of
to
course.
just text me a video of your reaction to it, and I will make an episode with that. Don't worry. If we have, we'll do something about it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, maybe they didn't want to like have too much going on at the same time. And it was Summer Game Fest. It isn't the Game Awards where I think there has been.
you didn't watch it. They showed a trailer for the Among Us TV show on Netflix, and
Okay, maybe not.
they mentioned
Maybe I'm
all
wrong.
that stuff. So yeah, I don't think that would have been a reason not to. But yeah, I am
Yeah,
a
they're
bit
holding their
nervous,
cards.
like
They're
you said.
maybe
Well,
they're
because
milking
people
it,
watched the
but
trailer at whatever convention it was at. Shadow didn't talk
yeah.
in it, so we still don't have a
And I know
confirmation on the
sometimes
voice
I know
actor,
sometimes those trailers are a little bit different. They're kind of using that as an audience testing to see people how they talk about it. But we only heard good things mostly. Like we didn't hear that like, oh wow, that was oof. Like we didn't hear any negative. We saw people being like, oh yeah, I can't wait for people
Only
to see
thing
it.
I can
Like,
think of is they're not done fully editing maybe some of the computer generated stuff that their artists are doing, and what they saw at the convention might not be complete versions of those shots, and maybe they want to have it to be completely indicative of the final
especially
film.
after the first movie with how that went. Like
Fair.
they really don't want to like put out. And there still will be edits made after trailer. It always is. Like, it always isn't 110% done. But, like, they want to get it maybe to, like, 90%. So it's not like people can't be like, yeah, it looked cool, but Shadow looks like shit. Maybe they really want to make sure in the teaser that Shadow looks good. I'm just really
Dude.
surprised that teaser didn't leak, though. Like, that no one got a
Same.
video or a screenshot or anything.
Because people do that to the Marvel shit all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Maybe people weren't expecting it, or people just were told. Maybe people were respectful, which is cool. I'm okay with that. Not saying I wanted to leak, but like, I'm just really surprised we didn't see even the Sonic movie. We saw fucking box art of what Sonic looked like.
because of those
even
cutout
after that.
stands.
Yeah, like we saw those. Remember?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we were
yeah,
getting
yeah.
it. Like we got that shit. So maybe there is out there and we haven't seen it. So I guess maybe ping us on that. But like at the same time, we don't want like leaks of like plot and all that stuff. If there's a screen grab or like a behind the scenes thing, that's cool. But at least that's how I kind of go about it. Unless it's something I'm really, really like, I don't know. Really depends. Like Godzilla, for example. I'm like, no, don't give me any of that shit. I don't want to know.
Right. But dude,
But for
looking
Sonic,
at
I'm
this
okay.
at this render at the top of the screen on the Sonic X Shadow Generations thing, this render of Shadow the Hedgehog, I'm like, dude, I'm so fucking hyped for this movie. Just Shadow is just really cool. I've listened to gaming podcasts from people that are older than us that don't understand the allure. They think it's like that one Simpsons bit where they had a cool, edgy character pop into
Here
Itchy
you go,
and
Ethan. I'm
Scratchy.
sending it to you right now.
And I see this guy, I see, they think the same thing about Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm like, that is just not the case. Shadow the Hedgehog is legitimately
We still don't even
a cool
know
design.
if the whole Keanu Reeves' shadow thing is real.
Right,
Still.
we
They
need a
haven't even
confirmation.
confirmed- 'Cause we wanted the whole, like, oh, it's going to be funny with speed. Like, they should 100% make a joke being like, Sonic needs to be like, oh, I feel like I've heard your voice before. Were you in Speed? Why do you sound like Keanu Reeves? Like, it would be really funny if he just straight up just says it. Like, you sound like Keanu Reeves.
I go
doing a
back and
voice.
forth on those types of references.
Break the fourth wall.
They can easily be terrible. I'm
I'm sending you the PNG of that exact one because it let me save it. Actually.
Okay.
I'm just trying to drag it to you, send it to you. So maybe you can put in the thumbnail. You can put him in the third circle. Pretend that he's in.
I
on the show.
I just did the same thing. I right-clicked, opened it up myself, so I have it right here. But yeah, very very cool render. Yes, it will be in the thumbnail for sure. In fact, you know what? We're not going to be in it. It's going to be Sonic and Shadow. Going to be sitting there.
I wish
instead.
I wish I can do something like that.
Most of you is cut off by the circle, but
I know it's like.
all right, folks. Remember, we're a YouTube podcast, so you could surely listen to us on Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. However, youtube.com/@SonicMovieShow is the place to be. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below on what your thoughts are on this trailer. Remember, we're also on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Threads @SonicMovieShow as well. So follow our socials. At least follow one of them. Just follow one of them. Do you really use Instagram and Twitter a lot? Both of them? Really? Really? You use one more than the other. You use one more than the other. Use that one for us. But still, like I said, let us know what you thought about this trailer. And we will see you next time for another episode. Maybe even soon if they're doing a Sonic 3 movie trailer. Who knows?
I'm okay. I'm okay with whenever it comes, but God, they're making us wait, huh? Damn.
They're making us wait. All right. Well, as always, Sonic out.
Shadow out as well.
The Hedgehog.